Motorhead Garage, presented by Topcoat, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Topcoat. You know, I gotta tell you, I don't think there's anything better than cruising along in a Jeep topless on the open road, and I don't think I'm alone in that belief. You know how I know? We had a chance to go check out the great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Folks there are crazy about their Jeeps. Wall-to-wall Jeeps in the parking lot, and once you get inside, everything possible you could imagine for your Jeep. Of course, Jeeps became popular with GIs when they returned from World War II, and this is where those Jeeps got their start. This is one of the first 2,000 Jeeps made by Willis and Ford before World War II and during the conflict as well. This one assembled December 3rd, 1941, just 4 days before the attack at Pearl Harbor. This vehicle was designated a truck, quarter-ton command, and it was a reconnaissance truck used by the military. Stock Jeeps look terrific, of course, but the second you buy one, you want to start customizing it. Great place to start is the front bumper. You want something more durable, better looking than stock? Well, that's where Iron Bear Customs comes in. And Dave, how are your bumpers superior to what else is out there?
Well, we use all-American 3/16 steel on our bumpers. We also use 120 wall, 1 3/4 DOM tubing on all of our bars on our bumpers. We also offer a double shear point that most manufacturers don't offer with their bumpers. So it gives it double the strength for if you're actually using your D-ring mounts, you don't have to worry about them falling off.
And how does that work? It doesn't just weld to the front of the bumper?
It's actually welded to the actual Jeep mount itself and then welded to the outer shell of the bumper. So it gives you a double shear point.
And you mentioned the tubing. How is that superior? What makes it better than stock or the stuff the other guys are using?
Yeah, well, DOM tubing has a higher tensile strength, so you can take a hammer and beat right off the end of it and won't dent or nothing. Nothing like a muffler pipe or anything like that.
Really important to me that stuff is made in the USA. Tell me where and how your stuff is manufactured.
Well, we're manufacturing our stuff in Washington, Missouri. We use a CNC plasma table to cut all of our parts out. Use a iron worker for bending all the parts.
Speaking of USA, you've got an American Heroes series. Tell me about that lineup.
Yeah, that's something we're really proud that we launched. Very honored to be able to do that. Our American Heroes series has all of our first responders and military personnel, nurses, anybody involved in that type of environment. We also do custom bumpers also, that can get custom done for certain Jeep clubs or a name you want to call your Jeep. So there's a lot of customization available with our bumpers.
Well, they look great and they're super tough. You can find them at info@ironbearcustoms.com. You can customize a Jeep and you can customize a Jeep. Take a look at this 2019 Wrangler. It's got the biggest tires in the joint here, 46-inch tires on this thing, using the stock motor, but 538 gears. But look at the interior, checkered custom seats, the audio system in the back putting out 2,000 watts, and this thing looks as great underneath as it does on top and inside. Hey, rock crawlers, this one's for you. You're gonna have the doors on your Jeep as you're towing it down the road because you need to keep the wind out. But once you get to the event, you want to lose those doors because you're going rock crawling. What are you gonna do with the doors? Well, that's where Dirt Poor Off-Road comes in. Tim, what do you have for us?
So we came up with a design to lock your doors onto your trailer while you're out on the trails and not have to worry about somebody just walking away with it. We spent 2 weeks in Moab and got tired of putting our doors under our RV and searched around, couldn't find a product like this, and 2 years later, here we are.
How are they made?
We CNC cut the main part of it, and then we bend in-house, we weld in-house, assemble it all. It's fully adjustable for, like this model here, for JK and JLs, 2-door or 4-door, and the other one for the TJs and LJs.
How easy is it to change from one model to the other?
You have 4 bolts.
How quick can you do that?
A couple minutes, maybe, at most.
And where is all this made? Is this all made in the U.S.?
We make it all in our shop that we built to start producing this. We buy our metal from a local metal supplier for U.S. made metal, and Miller, JE Square table, all American made stuff.
If I'm looking for one, where do I need to go?
DirtPoorOffroad.com.
Now here's a great looking restoration. This is a 1979 Jeep CJ Golden Eagle Edition. Has an all AMC original front and rear end. This, by the way, was a 5-year frame-off restoration project, a father and son project to boot. 1 3/4 inches of lift on the frame and a 1.5 inch body lift makes this thing look great. The only thing salvageable on the engine were the intake valves. Those are the only original parts on this engine. And what made it a Golden Eagle back then? Well, it had a tachometer and a clock standard. Air conditioning was optional. Well, the name Scrambler was around for Jeeps in the early 1980s, and if you want one now, they're kind of hard to find, and it'll be a big chunk of change, about 10 grand if you want one that's in decent shape. But Jake White, you found this one, and it was a little more affordable than that. How much was it?
Yeah, it was only $5 for me.
How'd you pull that off?
So the Scrambler Owners Association, a national club, built this for charity for St. Jude Children's Hospital and Blue Ribbon Coalition. They sold tickets, $5 a piece, all over the country after we assembled the vehicle, from donated parts from the club members and time spent, putting it together. And so basically I had 9 tickets left in the second bundle of 100. So I sold nearly 200 tickets. I bought the last 9, so that's my contribution. Didn't really think anything of it. And the first one of those 9 won it. So drove it home from Clayton, Oklahoma. That's where we had the national scramble that year. And I've had it ever since. So that was 10 years ago.
Crossover vehicles are all the rage these days, and every one of those vehicles owes its lineage to this. This is an AMC Eagle, and it was made back in the 1980s when AMC owned Jeep. Now, it was the first passenger vehicle to have full-time 4-wheel drive. It was also the first passenger vehicle to have independent front suspension. Now, sadly, the AMC Eagle met its demise in 1988, but its legacy lives on in every crossover you see today. Oh, you gotta love a Jeep. We're having a great time here on Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat. We've got a lot more coming up right after this.